What's up, everybody? Fuck them niggas.
You ain't gotta watch your kids.
Kim.
If you wanna get your nails did, I said.
You got me thinking about the joke you made about us picking. When you said I'll save, and I said I'll slave you. I'm gonna say you. That's not good. These are not good jokes to make after on the 4th of July. I said I'm gonna sell your kids. Call them niggas picking nicks. I said I'll slay ya. Terrible.
Show you how the nerve to ask. Well, she didn't ask me, but I was telling her like, I was like, you know, Delaware, like, you know, it's the first state. She's like, first state of what? I'm like, to sign the Declaration of Independence. She was like, but it was in Philly. I'm like, that has nothing to do.
Wait,
who signed it first?
That just fucked me up. Hold on now. I was good at history. Wait a minute.
Y'all niggas know
What
shit about
happened?
history.
You just nigga, you from Delaware.
That's what they teach us.
That's the only
That's what
reason
they
you
teach
know. We would have first. Nigga, don't try. Boy, they bullshitting you, nigga.
No,
they told me the
it's
same thing in Virginia.
No. It's on the license plate. It says the first state.
Oh, yeah.
The first state.
I was like, license plate.
That's. But I told her, I was like, it's on every license plate in Delaware. It's the first state. She was like, well, why though? I'm like, we signed the Declaration of Independence first. She's like, but it was in Philly. I'm like, just because it was in Philly doesn't
the
mean
state representative.
Yeah, the state representative was the first one to sign it for
Who was
Delaware.
the state representative?
Nigga, it's some old slave master.
Yeah, tell me that. Tell me that detail.
Yeah, George Massey.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you know, all of them was like,
racist.
None of them were good people. I mean, they did great things for this country.
Yeah, fuck these founding fathers, nigga. Fuck that it.
I said, fuck the people that created all these opportunities for me.
Honestly, though, for real, they really didn't. Not them. We were 3/5 back then.
We were 3/5 back then.
They ain't creating shit for us.
They didn't. You okay? In that technicality, yeah, you're right. They didn't make it for us.
But later on, it made it so.
Made, and then we got to share in some of it.
Yeah.
But like motherfucking.
Along the way.
Way,
people came along to include us.
You know, that's an interesting conversation
and make
too,
it function.
Because motherfucking. I mean, shit. July 4th. This might not be the best time to bring it up, but as I look at what the colonizers did to the Native Americans and taking over this country and all that kind of stuff, all the raping and pillaging and stealing.
Right.
If not for that, where would I be?
What do you mean? What do you mean by that?
I mean, like, this is gonna sound bad. They're gonna kill me for this, but
if not, all right, go ahead.
The Native Americans didn't make America what America is.
That's true. They were here.
They were here, but it wouldn't have been what it is now with their level of innovation.
Now the backlash will come in is that they didn't have to die for this to happen. They didn't have to get slaughtered for this to become a thing.
You're right. You know.
So I think that's debatable.
Because at this point, you know, like, we're doing a lot of trying to rearrange and change and reestablish what has been. However, we don't realize how much. I heard recently, you know, people don't realize how hard it is to make money, right? Mm-hmm. And I feel like, you know, America could be, right now anyway, America right now is the parent of a spoiled child who grew up with money and got handed everything and didn't know how hard it was to get to where they are. Mm-hmm. And like, a lot of like these right-wing or just really conservative views are in place because it comes from tradition. It comes from what has been working and keeping
the foundation.
That. Yeah, you know.
I agree.
So like, motherfucking, as I'm looking at things, it's like we can fuss all day about how we feel and how emotionally hurt we are, but what took place is what created the blessings that we had.
For sure, and I'm all for, you know, I'm all for things going down the way they went down because I can't do anything to change it.
Right.
It happened. They had a vision for it, and to them, certain shit had to happen in order for that vision to take place.
Mm-hmm.
Sure. However, I think that to your point, it doesn't necessarily have to be the atrocities. You know what I'm saying? The prejudices, the racism.
Right.
You know, maybe some of that could have been avoided had things just been, you know, a little bit differently. If perspectives would have been different. If people's mindsets weren't the way they were.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
It's very shitty. I always try to think of like put myself in.
But we're fortunate.
We are.
We're very fortunate and blessed that we didn't necessarily even have to go through those things. Instead, are reaping the benefits of what all those people had to go through.
True. I was going to say. I mean, it's easier for me to say to somebody who's reaping the benefits as opposed to somebody who's being affected negatively by
Right.
those what transpired. So
Mhm.
that's true. I'm not a fully native, so like I am when I accidentally drove on that reservation, I turned my ass around.
Yeah, I learned just because you brought it up about our hair and everything. Asked if we were natives. I asked my mom, and she
Yeah.
was like, "Yeah, we have native in our blood." I was
What
like,
I tell you?
Yeah, I was like,
She said no, she just black. I said you just lying.
"It is a native nigger."
He said, and I learned I do have native in my. He said, when I asked you that and you looked me in my eye and told me, nah, nigga, we just black.
Nigga, I'm Cherokee.
I said,
Come in Cherry Cove.
the way your hair grows, you chia. You gotta be chia.
She done tried.
You know what I'm saying? I've been growing my hair out 2 years. This nigga took 2 weeks and his hair looked like mine.
They call me he who was black.
I was like, these niggas are some lions.
They be lying and they lying.
Hey, you lying. No, but like motherfucker, so it's Cherokee, huh?
I'm just saying, I don't fucking know.
He was just being a dick. He said, I'm Cherokee.
I'm Cherokee.
He said, I'm Cherokee. Cherokee.
Cherry birds. Nigga said chirp.
I'm so mad at myself for saying that just now. After I said it, I was like,
He's a dumb
motherfucker. Like, save some jokes just for the back of your mind.
So
and
speaking
leave
of,
it there.
speaking of which, right, and this is the topic I wanted to get into. If we're on the topic of like prejudices
Right.
in America and rules, and
Hitman.
me and Shawty had this conversation just this morning because I wanted to get a perspective on it. But
Right.
you heard about Sha'carri Richardson, the
I have,
Olympic
yes.
runner. She was on her way to the Olympics. She qualified, was holding the record now of one of the fastest 100 meters, you know what I'm saying, since
Yeah.
FloJo, all that shit, right? Phenomenal athlete.
FloJo, what's that?
She was like one of the original black women to run the 100 meter dash. I think it was like I forget the time, but she did it like the fastest.
So that's called a FloJo?
No, her name, FloJo was short for something. It was like Floretta Johnson, some shit like that.
Okay.
But they call her FloJo.
Okay.
So she, Sha'carri Richardson, she, when it was time to qualify for the Olympics and go through the qualifications, she failed a drug test. She had marijuana in her system.
Right.
Now she isn't allowed to compete.
Ain't that about a
And
bitch?
everyone is now in an uproar about the fact that she can't compete just because she has smoked marijuana.
Right.
My complaint in this is that why are we mad at the establishment for having standards that she did not follow?
This goes back to what I'm saying about like the inception of America. It's like we are so fixated on the issue of black and white that we want it to trump a logic.
Right.
You know, like, and it's getting to a point where, you know, it's like we're so busy trying to satisfy so many feelings and emotions on stuff that we're not looking at logic here.
Right.
Like, I can understand it's something as simple as marijuana. It wasn't like steroids or enhancers per se. If anything, that makes you less able to do what you're doing. So the fact that she was able to like kick ass and be smoking weed, that's awesome. That's great. And I know you want to. Me, you know how I like to reinvent the wheel.
Right.
I'm a person who loves to question authority and bend rules and disrupt and change things. It's just a matter of when there's a time. I don't know. It's like you were saying, the establishment does have rules in place. If anything, from what I hear, you get like these cards designated to you about what you are and are not allowed to have in your system.
Yeah.
So the fact that she put out a statement also that was saying something about like what is it? I think she said she was aware of the repercussions.
And her mom had passed, so that's the reason why she
right,
did it.
Right.
But and that's what I was telling Shawty.
It's
I'm like, it doesn't matter.
You want the world to care about your personal problems, and it's not reality.
And not only that, like we can't be selective on who we're gonna allow to break the rules because that wouldn't be the standard. That wouldn't be the standard because there's other athletes who follow the rules,
right,
and were eligible and made it into qualifications.
And that's what rules are for. Laws and everything, they're in place so that there's a standard.
Right.
And the moment that standard is like breached for one person, it opens Pandora's box.
Yep.
And it's just like I don't think we're understanding. Ultimately, in a bigger picture of things, like with America and what's happening right now, I don't think we're understanding why things are in place.
Right.
Like, I think we're forgetting why things are the way they are. And how they got that way. And what may be affected without these processes.
And not only that, too, like, especially when it comes to black folk, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
In our history with, dealings with marijuana and stuff like that. It's a lot that goes into it. However, in the greatest athletic competition there is worldwide, the Olympic stadiums, right? This the Olympic just arena.
Yeah.
Where they're grabbing people from all over the world who are the best at these things
they're
ever.
Best at what they do.
They're best in the whole country and continent that they're from. Millions and billions of people that they're better than.
Right.
They have to meet certain qualifications just to get in front of these people.
Right.
And for you yourself to jeopardize that and potentially know what you're doing, you have no one else to blame.
You did that to yourself.
But for you, it doesn't matter the reason why.
Yes.
I gave Short an example. I'm like, let's say I cheat on you, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But I'm like, you weren't appreciating me. You weren't talking to me. Like you weren't taking care of me. None of that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like it's, like you treat me wrong. But none of that matters because I cheated.
Yeah.
It's wrong. I shouldn't have fucking done. The reasoning doesn't matter. And I feel like the more and more we try to loosen the responsibility off the person, their actions, the less likely things can continue to become applicable to everybody else.
Yeah.
Because they are applicable to everybody else.
I ain't mean to make a joke.
I let you rock, but I let you rock. I was like, all right. I saw where he was going. You know what I'm saying?
I was like, oh, he trying to get his point out. I said, you lying? Oh. This drink got me hot. Let's get out of here. Yeah.
But like it's all that where I feel like we and that's the thing I was telling Shawty. She was like, but like we don't know the whole situation. It could be it could be people out here who are actually doing those things and bribing the committee to get through. I'm like, but
see, now you're creating hypotheticals.
Right, and this and that's such a scapegoat. That's not the conversation. The conversation is she did something wrong that she shouldn't have done.
Right.
Simple as that.
It's the bottom line, man. Yo, and that goes to show, like, recently I got pulled over, man. My back window is out, motherfucking. The car looks mad suspicious.
Right.
But like,
you're selling drugs, so that
and only a fool would, because your back window is out there. It's getting taken, but whatever. Excuse me. Point being, like, motherfucking being as though like my car is insured, I got a clean record, etc., etc. I was good.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And it's happened a couple times. And that's not to say that there's not injustices. However, I know for a fact that motherfuckers be wildin'. Yeah. I was one of those motherfuckers. When I was wildin', I got arrested. Right. It went differently. Motherfucker, you know what I'm saying? And it's just like, black people, I'm seeing us getting to a point where we just bitching and complaining about everything, or we're playing victim.
We don't want to take accountability.
Yeah, nobody's taking accountability.
We want to be victims and all that shit, and that's where conversations like these, people would think we're super like conservative.
Yeah, they would think we're shitty people.
But in reality, it's like, no, my nigga, like
I'm a person.
I'm a person, and I believe in the ability to know what you have to do, right or wrong.
Yeah.
Fuck being
fuck
left
your
or right.
color.
Fuck all that shit.
I mean?
What's right and what's right, and what's wrong and what's wrong. And I'm a God-fearing
shit.
man. So if God tells me, and the rules are a certain thing, but you feel what I'm saying? Standards and
but
rules.
That's still the beautiful thing.
The standards and rules, like there's shit that in the laws of the universe or whatever you believe in that you just can and cannot do, where right is right and wrong is wrong.
Right.
And you getting the circumstances, or rather not the circumstances, the consequences for what you've done, you can't be mad.
Accountability. You hit it on the nose.
You
when
can't be
mentioned
mad.
That word. Like, there's a lack of accountability, not just in this generation. Like, because we was talking about it one day when we were talking about women's lack of accountability. But like, if I could full scale it, like, there's a lot of that just going on.
Right.
Nobody is just really taking a firm look at themselves and actually telling the truth.
That's what we was talking about back at the job.
Right.
Niggas don't want to take accountability for not hitting their rate.
Right.
But then when a bitch about it,
sitting there playing, oh, Kobe.
Nigga run all the way to the corner like, yo, Kobe
was all the way at 8. Like, it went to the court.
Yo, you just see them niggas like they all get down there. They be like, Kobe, like fucking stupid shit.
But that shit kills me though. Like, just the lack of accountability in motherfuckers. Like, motherfucking, it is what it is. I do things with the knowledge of knowing what the consequence is. You know what I'm saying? I gotta take that. I gotta stand on that. So like, what you laughing at?
Kobe. Still in my head.
I'm mad too, because when I made the joke with chain off flip, damn near chipped my tooth again. I said, cool ball. I was fucked up. I was like,
I'm going home.
Right, like, shit. I ain't drinking no more. Nah, mainly, too, like, goddamn, I do the overnight thing, so
yeah.
I was trying to get, the perfect way I was going to space out this day was I was going to get some rest, wake up, go to the dispensary, get my weed, motherfucking, that's my creative muse, right? So, like, motherfucking at the nighttime, it's perfect. Like, or when it's raining, oh my God. But, like, clearly I woke up at like 1:40, and motherfucking, like, goddamn, I mean, of course the dispensary is open, but it closes at 4 on the weekends and shit, like, just trying to make reason saying I got these drinks because I was just like, all right, let me like loosen up, get some spirits and some shit like that.
Yeah, I feel you. It's crazy too, like just on the whole topic of just taking accountability, like I feel like just us as just people in general,
right?
If you're not being accountable, like how much do you really expect shit to be going your way?
Nothing can, honestly. Like, man, listen.
But even still, like you said, you know, we can create our lives. We're in control of our lives. And if we're aware that the things we do come with consequences, good or bad, we should be very, very aware that we have to be accountable for our actions. Like you said, you're accountable in the fact that you don't have anything on your record. You're insured. Your car's in your name. Like, you've taken accountability for that. So now when shit happens, nothing will happen,
right? Because
you know how to handle yourself,
right.
But the niggas who have a record, who's probably not insured, that's probably not their car,
but
they'll act a whole lot differently because they're not
that's
being
what I'm saying.
And get mad that
you know what I'm saying?
They're getting detained.
Exactly.
But nigga, you were
that's where I'm
wrong.
going with that. Like, motherfucking the reason that I can be so calm and cordial at my car window when I get pulled over is because I know I ain't got shit for you to, you know what I mean? I ain't got nothing to hide. Like, even if I got weed in the car, I have an affidavit, if that's what it's called, that says you can't even, you know what I mean? Right. I'm in the industry. Like I got all my credentials.
Right.
Like, motherfucking, and so I really feel vindicated in that, like, the choices I made in my past were the dudes that, like, motherfucking most people wanted to be like. Motherfucking, we pivoted different.
Right.
And now, fast forward to today, like, a lot of times you'll see these like videos on social media of a motherfucker recording himself while he's getting pulled over,
Which is the
giving
dumbest
him,
thing.
you know what I mean, try and give a cop all these questions and a hard time and shit when it could be so simple. Cop pulled me over and I asked him if he needed my license and registration.
Right.
Why? Because I know what the deal is. Like motherfucking, you know what I'm saying? And then y'all talking about defunding the police and it's just like, dog, are you stupid, nigga?
Yeah.
I'm getting so frustrated with like the simple, quick 5-minute solutions that motherfuckers come up with for problems that have been around for hundreds of years.
And I think that's a whole different can of worms in itself, just with the police and how we've been associated with them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because I know they were. I know how the police started. They weren't.
Yeah.
They didn't begin for black people or anything.
Yeah.
I get that.
Well, they
However,
did begin for black people.
yeah, I mean, you know what I'm saying? They were to catch us, but
Yeah.
like motherfucking, like fast forward to the day where we're like ingratiated in society. I'm sure, like I don't know, it just all goes back to accountability. We, black people, a lot of times we expect a different result from how we act.
And that's when, that's when we get kind of labeled as like cold, because we're putting the accountability back on us.
Yes.
Because we're very much aware that this shit is not for us and it's never gonna be for us, and we're meant to work twice as hard to get half as much as the next man.
I don't even believe that, to be honest. There are black billionaires right now, so it's not that it wasn't made for us, more so than that it was made, and we have to work with it.
But that's what I'm
than,
saying.
you know
How
what I
it
mean?
was made wasn't made for us. Like we just said, we were 3/5 of a man.
Yeah, and that's 100%.
It's never made, but it is made, and we can still do something with it. That's what I was trying to get to.
Yeah,
it's
I was
not
about
impossible.
to say, looking at us, for example, as a like motherfucking physical example, you can take this system and you can do with it what you want to.
Right.
And you can do in it what you want to. And you make those choices. Now, a lot of times, I was having a conversation with Shorty and I was telling her there's a difference between the motherfuckers who didn't have a choice and the motherfuckers who made that choice.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And there's a lot of motherfuckers these days that just want to look tough, that would just want to be cool, that just want to get the bitches, so they think that they got to be a dope boy, or they got to do this or do that. They get themselves in trouble or caught up because they wasn't built for that. They can't do the time. They can't do this, that. They either end up being snitches. Like, this is how you get killed in the streets. This is like it's just so much shit to it, so much nuance. It's just like the way the system was built. If you are a person, a living, breathing person, you can make something of yourself in it.
Yep.
And it's up to you to do. You know what I mean? You make those fucking choices, my nigga.
And that's what always gets me upset is about our people, dog. Man, I can't. Like I understand life is hard, and a lot of times we're not always produced in the best situations that there is.
Right.
But we always have made do with what we've had from the very beginning.
Yeah.
And we would not have gotten this far without us doing with what we've had to get to this
100%.
point. We would not have those black billionaires. We would not have these establishments that we've created. We wouldn't have had these influences on just the world if it not have been for the people who didn't want to stay in these situations.
100%.
Point being that we have to stop making excuses and just start doing shit about it. Like you said, when you're feeling a way, instead of taking it outwardly, you want to bring that shit inwardly and just work on yourself, because it's no one else's fault or responsibility but you and what you have to do with that shit.
100%. It's like motherfucking. When you were saying that, I was recollecting like when I was living on there's this place 7th Bay in Virginia, in Norfolk, Virginia. It's right across from the beach. You wouldn't even know it was the projects back then, but motherfucking. Yeah, we live in there and shit, and I've seen like people's families fall apart to where like my man's got stabbed by his baby moms because he was abusing her. She stabbed him to death. Now his kids, I keep on seeing them at different schools that we go to because we moved around a lot ourselves.
Right.
So when we move, every city I see a different one of his kids because they got separated and put into the system. And so like motherfucking. I understand that there are some people like that's what I mean when I say like the lack of choices. When you are born into that, when that's all you know, that's all you see, that's what you raised by, that's you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that also goes into how you're built for it.
Right.
A lot of times if you raised in that and motherfucking that's what you know and you know how to move in that, then you built for that.
Yeah.
Like you can make something come out of that opportunity because you know how to move around the law.
Right.
It's a lot of motherfuckers who don't who wasn't born and bred in that shit that want to get into it because motherfucking they see motherfuckers that they want to be like,
Right.
and that's the mistake, my nigga. You got your own way.
It's literally. I want to find this part because I was just reading it in Unfuck Yourself. It was talking about the difference between.
Yo, that's another thing too. That point right there, you my nigga, you my homie, right?
Mm-hmm.
You send me books.
You're right, I do.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, that's just a simple difference. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of these friendships, a lot of these, and let's keep it specific. A lot of, you know what I mean, we want that out of the black community.
Right.
We want more of that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
but we don't see a lot of that. We don't.
I want to find the part where we was talking about like the difference between successful people and
Or-
people who
And
aren't.
I'm not going to harp on the black community too much because I'm saying we don't see a lot of that, but I'm not even a social motherfucker. So, excuse me, there might be a lot of that going on that I just don't see.
Right.
So I ain't even going to knock us like that.
Okay,
Damn,
here we
man.
go. It says, the truth is, we all do this from time to time. Even the most driven, most successful, and wisest among us have these kinds of thoughts. So what it is that separates those successful people from you and me, they understand, consciously or otherwise, one simple thing. What they think and what they do always have to align. Point being that if you're thinking that you're a victim and what you're doing isn't aligning with that, like the trade-off is you have to start doing in order to think differently.
Right.
And if you're maneuvering in a way that is going to confirm your thoughts, you're always going to be in that cycle.
Right.
I'm not trying to confirm and live with and be my negative thoughts,
Right.
because I know that's not aligning with who I want to be.
Right.
The work that I put in is going to make my thoughts align with the work that I have to put in.
What about I mean, of course, that's the journey. We're aware, and being aware is what the journey is about. So we know what to do. I wanna speak on or touch on the days that like we know what to do, but it's just harder to do.
That's when you just got to do it. That's what that talks about.
Yeah.
Because you're not always going to be in the mood to do it. I said it to you. You're not always going to be
Yeah.
in the mood to do the things. You're going to psych yourself out. You're going to think negatively of yourself. But those feelings are very fickle. And you have to just keep going. Just that last week when we were talking about how just not in it we were. And
Right.
specifically for me, after coming back from the trip, and I was feeling down.
Right.
I was going to the gym the whole week.
You know what's ironic about that? The feeling is fickle. The damage is permanent.
Right. But the thing about it is you can't make permanent actions off of temporary emotions.
Right.
Because
Hence why we don't have any fucking babies.
Boom.
Good shit, nigga.
We said.
Shit, nigga, but now like motherfucker. That's some of the biggest blessings that we have right now, are what we don't have.
Honestly, like I said, it's even when you're not feeling it, it doesn't matter, and that's something that I had to learn in door to door, and that's one of the topics I had put down was like talking about mentality.
Right.
I had to get my mentality together. And my boy KT, my trainer at the time, he had just sent me like some video or whatever, and it made me think of that. I was like, man, KT wasn't a great teacher as far as like the system and whatnot. I didn't really learn much from him as far as that. But the one thing he had was a really, really good mentality.
Mm-hmm.
Super positive, outgoing, friendly, looked at the bright side of things, and didn't let a lot of shit get to him. He really didn't care like that.
Will you remember your point?
Yeah.
30 seconds?
Yeah.
The only point I wanted to make was that recently I had this idea that all successful people may not be the best or nicest people or the best at everything. They could even be shitty people. It's just that they have a hold on the tenets of success.
Yeah.
That reminded me of that. But continue, please.
But that point alone, where like you're good at that thing you do.
Yeah.
And that thing that you do makes you successful. And like the book also said, is that those successful people, a lot of times their thoughts don't align. They just don't choose to act on those thoughts. They still choose to go through it anyway. to still put themselves in those situations anyway. That's not gonna allow them to think that way anymore.
They still choose to go through it anyway.
No, not going through those thoughts. They choose to do the work.
Okay, gotcha.
Not they don't choose to sit no, so they choose to actually go through the motions to get out of it.
Okay. I was like,
he said, it is okay.
no, I was like, I got your ass
down.
You're wrong.
I'm right.
I was coming in so devious. I said,
you know you fucked up,
I
right?
I got your ass. Wait.
But KT, the one thing he taught me was what?
You out?
Oh no, I got another one. I'm straight. Because I already knew I was halfway done with this.
You know what I'm saying?
But he taught me that just through his actions that, because I'm pretty sure there might have been days he didn't even want to deal with me, because I know I did not want to deal with him. You know what I'm saying? But he still took the time and had that good energy and was like always willing to just do the work.
Yeah.
No matter what. And I feel like that's something that me personally, I've always been trying to strive towards. Is just like, man, like, I know I'm not always going to feel it. I know I'm not always going to be in the best of moods. And I'm not always going to want to do the things that I know I have to do. However, the shit still needs to get done.
You know what? I can speak to that by giving you kudos, because you are further in that level than you think, or maybe think. I wouldn't know. But like you, in the same way that he inspired you, you inspired me in that way. Mm-hmm. Because like even like I got off that shift and motherfucking I knew I had to come here to pod and everything, and then I'm just like battling with myself about like whether this is like that big of an obligation and this and that, and just getting mad at the commitments that I've made and then the time that I have to me and all this kind of stuff, and the things that basically like all the things that you want to do and don't want to put energy into. Me being here now, I'm very grateful that I had this opportunity.
Right.
However, in those moments of sitting still, you know, like, and still having that action that you have to put forward, like, you know, before the energy is exhausted and shit, like, you feel like, man, you feel like quitting. You feel like stopping, and it's just not a good mentality, because it's, what is it? Consistency is a muscle. As much as quitting is. Yeah. And so the more you work that quitting muscle, the more shit you quit, the easier it is to just quit stuff.
Nah, for real.
You know what I'm saying?
I quit a lot of shit.
I quit a lot of shit. I can't remember a lot of stuff I've finished.
And that's honestly, that's what gets me like the most like irritated, but also like happy, because this is something I accomplished. Mm-hmm. I can't say too many things. Maybe to some other people they may be accomplishments, but for me, not like the milestones where it's been like that's what that was, and that's what that was.
Because at the time, don't it feel like stopping what you don't want to do is the right thing to do? At the time.
At the time.
At that time, it feels like, yo, this isn't right for me. But then, like, motherfucking, you do it. That's oh yeah, you shit. We buy it. Answer.
Oh, what up?
I'm sorry. It just said mommy, and then I see this bald
see
nigga.
This fat nigga on the screen, like, what the?
My bad, pimp.
Nigga over here coming through like a whole milk dud.
My bad, pimp.
Nigga, what do you want? We potting. Yeah, what's
much
up?
Much love.
Ain't no love, nigga. What do you want?
You ain't shit. I'm trying to be right.
This nigga calling me. Nigga, do you know what time it is? Oh, happy anniversary, nigga. Congratulations.
I'm sorry.
Congratulations, nigga. You know what
I
I'm
thought
saying?
What? He grown.
He brought him. He brought him. This nigga brought him. This nigga brought this.
What, the 211 or the Listen, yes.
Mine's the Bud Light. I got the Bud Light. I ain't doing nothing crazy. I'm chilling.
He got the Bud Light Platinum. It's like I'm fucking with you.
Hey, Mom.
Hey. Hey, happy anniversary, y'all. I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Ain't nobody forget about y'all. Yeah, we potted. My happy anniversary.
Thank you. All right, well, go ahead and you need to be talking about on the pod is how niggas.
Alright, nigga, shut up.
Wait. What you said?
Nobody care about all that.
Hold on, what he said though? What he said?
What?
What you said?
No, I want y'all to talk about no drinking and driving, niggas.
Oh. Oh, I said, oh.
So get ready and pillow.
Uh-huh.
Get lay down. Get some of that shit off, and that damn spill preserve ain't no joke.
I'm telling you, man, I feel you.
Feeling it.
I can appreciate that. I keep that in mind.
I'll get back to it. I'll holler at y'all later.
Alright, yo. Love you. Alright.
My man, 100 grand.
These niggas.
I love that though. You know what? It's moments like that that I'm reminded that we are still family.
Every time I just laugh, I'm like, nigga, how can you forget? Like, I refer to everybody as this is my cousin right here.
Yo, I told like when I say
I think I know what it is, but go ahead.
motherfucking when I say when I'm talking about you and I tell like a shawty, I'm like my homeboy. I mean, like I forget, like.
I think because like we didn't necessarily like grow up together. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like in those early stages, like we met along like in our adolescence.
We was like 12, 13.
Yeah,
shit.
around that age. So it's a little different. You know what I mean?
Not even though. I don't know what it is. Like. Well, I think the basis is a lot of times when you fake close, you hold the cousin word. You hold a lot of strength.
Yeah.
Or weight. You put a lot of weight in the cousin shit because
Right.
you're fake close.
Yeah.
And like I tend to forget about that part because so much of our friendship is just, you know what I mean, this is my nigga.
Right.
That like I forget that, you know what I mean, we actually family, like
Yeah.
blood family. that's funny.
We niggas.
we pick a nigga. I was about to say we nigga pickers, but then I was like,
Nigga
nah.
Racist ass, get the picking, nigga.
But you know, it was funny he mentioned drinking and driving, like motherfucking just the points we was making earlier about motherfucking.
And we're accountable.
Being accountable, yes,
accountable.
100%. Like dog. I didn't drink enough to be fucked up.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
like motherfucking. And if we gonna talk about shit, I ain't gonna statute of limitations. But either way, I ain't gonna say her name. But family member, real close. She drive like a motherfucking gat on like she be lit, but she make it home and back.
That's still very dangerous.
Don't do it again.
That's still dangerous.
Don't do it again.
Yeah.
But I've been in the car with her and I felt safe.
I felt safe.
I felt safe. So she inspired me. Like I was just like, man, she could do it. I could do it. She taught me how to drive.
Oh. Nigga, no.
Nah, I'm on her ass.
I'm over here. I'm like, huh, okay.
He said, I'm okay with her, dog.
And then he was like, yeah, she told me to drive. I'm like, 2 + 2.
Nah, yeah, I'm on her ass. I think she chilled though these days. Like motherfucking, if anything, yo, that's another thing too. Like you ever, the way I see like my circle in my life, I imagine it as a lawn, right? And like, fuck you, nigga.
I'm not.
I see your smile,
I'm not.
nigga. The jokes, they're coming. But let me finish. A lawn, right? And you know the brown grass? You know, or no, fuck the brown grass. It's all green, but some of it is higher than the others. And like when you mow the whole lawn and it look good, that's how I feel when my circle is good.
Right.
Now what the fuck are you laughing at?
I was still laughing.
Niggas.
2 plus 2.
Oh. I said niggas picking right. One. Jackass.
Oh
I'm
my
tired
God.
of me.
Oh shit. That shit.
This nigga crazy.
Oh man. Did you have some shit you want to get into?
If anything, like what we was talking about before we had gotten up here, I've been segueing, and I know we gonna put this out to the public. So a lot of times I like motherfucking, I try to like censor the information on my life.
Mm-hmm.
But man, like this is part of my life, you know. So I hardly give a fuck. I'm slowing up on the hoes, man.
Right.
Like, what is it? We spoke about it briefly, but like just I've been jaded from my past with women as far as like what my expectations are out of them, how I'm to move with them and stuff. And I got this woman in my life now who's we're not committed, but like she's a great woman. It's
Right.
been 3 years. Like goddamn, we know what the understanding is. Like goddamn, there's so much nuance to this, and it's just like it don't have to be complicated. I'm not necessarily, the thing about it is titles, right? I want to be on the topic of titles just because like how that may change things for is a title for you or for society?
Right.
I'm asking that.
I've always said that titles and labels come with expectations, and I guess the umbrella of that is that society created these titles with those expectations. You know what I'm saying? Because to your point, which I think you're about to get to, is that for you, you're not having those titles and those labels because it's something that you've already created for yourself.
Right.
So instead, in a short way, yeah, I guess, you know, society, that is kind of what the labels are for society.
Yeah.
To label and to put you in that box in that way of like, oh, that's who they are, that's what that thing is. When in reality, some things are what you guys have. Probably a lot of things are what you guys have too.
I feel like as you just explained that, the way I look at titles and all that kind of shit is really a control aspect.
Yeah.
And it depends on who wants the control. Like, say the man wanted the title. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to really delve into why that title needs to exist if the love is already there.
Right.
Same thing as marriage for me. Like there's two sides to marriage though, because marriage gets a little different. Say if you got money.
Yeah.
Like if you own a business and she own a business.
That comes a little bit more.
Yeah, that's a business arrangement.
Yeah.
You know, but by the same token, if you're not a mogul, you know what I mean? If you don't got bread like that, then motherfucking the reason to get married is mostly it feels like none of it is about love. None of it is about how you actually feel more so. I mean, you could say that. There's many arguments that say that.
You want to marry someone who you love, but it's not.
Right. They want to say the marriage is representative of the love and the commitment.
But it's not.
However, if the love and the commitment is already there before the ring and the animate objects, then what the fuck is the point?
It's also very religious. You know what I'm saying? In a lot of religions, you know, marriage is something that is it's upheld to a certain standard. You know what I'm saying? So outside of it being like society and business, it's also hugely rooted in biblical and, you know, Islamic faiths and everything else. It's the unification of a man and a woman.
You ever see yourself getting married?
I used to a lot. These days, it's on a line. I used to a lot.
Speak to that. To this date, I don't even remember us ever having a conversation about marriage. We're talking about a lot of bitches.
For sure talking about
I was getting ready to unfold my arms because it was like, and before I could make it, you said, nigga.
Nigga knew where I was going.
You know what I'm saying? Well, yeah. Like,
Ashy boy, I got a lot of hoes.
Tell you about Gary, I'm Jim Gary. Alright.
Jim Carrey part 2 of this.
I looked at the camera and said, Jim. I miss that.
Yo, man, we gotta watch this shit
I
again.
love that nigga, Gary.
We gotta watch that shit again, yo. That shit was great.
That bull.
But
Fuck ass.
Ashy boy. But yeah, back in the day, that was one thing that in my
Ashy boy, I got a lot of Continue, please. I'm sorry.
it's like that shit is fucking funny.
Yeah,
That shit
Ashy
is-
boy, I got a lot of Come on.
That shit is great.
Yo, but this is stupid. I know you're gonna laugh, or probably laugh at me more than but like motherfucking, you introduce. Go ahead. I'm about to sound like a fucking. You introduced me to like more laughter.
This nigga evil as a bitch.
No, I'm not. Like
Yeah,
I
you
mean,
Batman
like
for real.
I had a different humor, like motherfucking. Like motherfucking, hold on. Like it wasn't even that I had a different humor, more so than like
You didn't find everything funny.
no,
You
not at all.
definitely didn't find everything
Not
funny.
at all. I've learned that it doesn't have to be that funny. Excuse me. It's more so the enjoyment of laughter.
Yeah.
And that's what I learned. One of the things I've learned, and like knowing you, it's just like enjoy. That's just a word that comes to mind. Enjoy.
Right.
Like
Before I get to the marriage topic, I'm gonna tell you something else that was real funny.
What's
that
that?
happened at the job, right? So the manager, he comes up to me, his name is Rob, and he's like, "Cole, you're at a 68." I'm like, "Oh, okay, great." And then the one dude's walking past him, he's like, "Will, you're at a..." No, at first before he even said that. I forgot the part. Wait, before you said that, he was like, "Oh, Will, you look sad, man. What's going on?" And Will was like, just another day. He's like, "Will, you had a 58, man. You had a 58." He was like, he said, "It's been hard, man." He's like, it's okay, it's okay. Just gotta get it up, He said, "Be more optimistic." He was like, "Hard to be optimistic now when I heard that news." I fell out. I fell the fuck out, yo. I was laughing in this nigga's face. Cause he just heard my rate, and that shit is sky high, boy.
it's hard to.
He said, "Well,"
He said, "I'm discouraged now."
He said, "I'm damn sure at my rate now."
Yo.
I fell out laughing in front of this
Oh my
nigga,
god. Yo, some of the shit just because like some of the shit just because I be hearing it and like I be knowing that you would be geeking at that shit. That shit starts to get me geeking just cause like motherfucking. And it's like, but it's funny that is imagery of how you've impeded my thought process. Like motherfucking.
I'm a laughing party,
yeah. Like I'm like, cool, laugh at this. Cause it's just me. Like it's funny.
And look, instead of having like the devil and the angel, it was a nigga laughing on your show.
He said, I'm like, nigga, this is funny. I'm saying like, but that is so it's hilarious and uncanny.
Oh,
like
man.
the motherfucking aspect of humor
Right.
that you make me realize out of things, like taking things less seriously, taking a step back, not being so serious.
Right.
Like that shit is depressing. Like it keep you hard, it keep you like motherfucking. I mean,
But you gotta learn to laugh a little bit, man. Like everything don't gotta be so serious. Like at least for me, like
that should be intense.
Like,
dog.
I don't take everything niggas be doing like to heart. I'm just
Yeah.
like, cause some shit is just like, for me at least, I look at that as I just know better, and shit is just like it don't be that deep.
It don't. It
And,
really don't.
and when I see the stupid shit to me that's deemed stupid, then it's like, oh nigga, you a clown. Like, you know what that mean?
It's time I put on my nose.
I'm about to be geeking out
He
this
said,
shit.
"Where's my wig?" Fuck. What was you talking
I
about?
was talking about marriage.
There you go.
But as a kid,
A whole tangent.
I'm glad I remember too.
Yeah, thank God, because I would have been like, oh yeah, Kermit, right? I just started talking about random Muppets. Nigga, get the marriage.
Miss Piggy.
oh. Yo, when niggas got a joke coming, they always go. They always late to it. Like, why the fuck you late to your own joke?
They trying to get to it, but they know it's gonna hit. They
It's
know
already
it's
funny
gonna
to
hit.
you.
That shit already fucking funny. But goddamn marriage. As a kid and growing up for a long time, I saw myself getting married. I saw myself, you know.
As a kid, how old is a kid?
Ever since I had parents.
Oh
married,
yeah,
you know what I'm
you was
saying?
born and bred into the light.
Yeah, like,
and you know what's funny? Same as I.
Yeah.
I was born and bred. I'm not a bastard. My
Right.
parents was married.
Yeah.
You know, so.
And so like that's all I saw. So in my head, I'm like, oh, that's the thing to do. You know what I'm saying? And that's honestly
You ever
part of
walked
the
around your
reason.
parents fucking?
I've heard them. I hope they don't watch this part, but I've heard that.
I did.
With them. I heard them, and I might have came in and they did like the fake little like sleep shit.
Like I came in, I said, it smells like something. Boy, get out. Now and then I go
Get
to
your ass out of here.
Yeah, I'm
Get your
saying,
ass out of here
I go
right
to
now.
college and shit, and I'm familiar with the smell. And I'll say, it smells like something. But like you know, yo, when I first started having sex, I did not know sex had a smell.
Yeah.
Nowadays, I don't smell it as much.
Yeah.
Cause when I was in that supply closet, nigga, you said, I said, nowadays, you gonna get it right past me. You can be fucking behind me,
Right.
and I wouldn't know. But like motherfucking, like you can be fucking with me. And I don't smell shit. But like when I first started fucking, dog, you could smell that sex in the air.
Cause it was new. It was new. It was
Yo,
weird.
remember when we was walking past them bushes and it just smelled like a bunch of
Come, yo, that shit was so
Yo,
bad.
someone just came on the bushes
Yo.
and then let it sit in the sun.
Nah,
Like-
he saved the bucket of cum. He
Yo.
said, throw it right there. Man, that shit smelled awful.
That
son.
shit crazy.
That
And
shit
it
smacked me in the
happened
face.
every time we walk past
That
there.
shit
Like,
was disgusting.
Jesus. But marriage.
Oh, man, but yeah. Yeah, well, my parents fucking.
Cause I did, man. I did.
But outside of that, like that's you know being around them, I was gonna say that I feel like that was part of the reason why I was super like monogamous heavy. You know what I mean? Because that's something.
That's what you knew.
That's what I knew, and I wasn't familiar with, you know, my dad's background, you know what I'm saying? Or just, I didn't piece together that he had a lot of kids, and that's what the fuck it was, you know what I'm saying?
You popped my cousin still. Like, I knew him before I knew you.
Right,
That's
but
what I was
that's what I'm saying, like, but to me, that's just my dad, you know what I'm saying?
That's my nigga. I'm fucking with you. I'm sorry.
He goes, he's like, nigga,
That's my nigga.
nigga.
I'm done.
But all that shit, man, like, and then more and more as like time went on, I think what did it for me was that one relationship where I was really gonna take it serious from here on out, and it just didn't end up working out.
You talking about recent?
Not that one. When I was still living back at home with Sha'carri and Young John at the time.
Nigga, you talking about New York?
Yeah.
You went to New York?
Yeah.
Alright,
With her.
I love that I know these references because
Yeah.
I can pinpoint it that way.
So, and then us, you know, not working out, it definitely deterred me from that thought and maybe kind of be back on the line. And now these days, I'm just like, now that I'm more self-aware and I'm aware of like what the systems are, what it means for a man to be married, the things that can come along with it. It's just like,
Oh, so you considered it with her?
oh yeah, for sure. For sure.
You was definitely like, this is the time when you had your dreads out.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't wanna date that. But like,
But yeah, it was around that time, and I was like, you know, because for me, I'm like, all right, like this is like around that point where I should be trying to find somebody. But Now I'm under the assumption that I really don't even want to put myself in that position no more.
That makes me want to speak to, and I haven't experienced this since a teenager, but like motherfucking, that makes me want to speak to the experience of being an adult and dealing with a virgin. How is your perspective on a virgin as an adult man that you are now?
I'll give you a real life example. So there's one shorty I met off Tinder like just a few fucking weeks ago. Was a whole virgin. Was actually around our age, you know what I'm saying, but she never had sex. And I was
see me being
well,
I'll let her tell it, you know.
At this point, I can kind of tell like if you lying or not. She was serious.
I mean, there's a difference between, because a lot of times the bitches would be like, I'm a virgin.
They'll say that shit to be
because
cute.
They're inexperienced.
Yeah, but she
and that's different from being a virgin. You got fucked before.
And me and her had this conversation, but she was definitely a virgin.
Yeah. I mean,
and for that situation,
I ain't gonna let my Jade be your Jade. You know what I'm saying?
Like she was definitely what, and for me now after dealing with that, I'm looking at it as like I know what that comes with, and I was like, yo, like straight up with you, like. You know, if we're gonna be messing around with each other, just know I'm gonna want to fuck. Yeah. I'm gonna want to fuck. Yeah. And just know that we can still kick it and be cool and do all those things, but I'm not gonna sit here and lie to you and act like I'm not gonna want to fuck.
Right.
And she was telling me how.
And it's not a slight. I'm a man. I want to fuck.
And she was telling me how she was like, you know, I want to fuck too. I just don't want to feel pressure to put on a timeline to fuck you if I'm not ready to. And I'm like, fair, understandable. But then. We were supposed to hang out, but I couldn't hang out. So instead, I was telling her, you know, you can just come here, we can chill here. But if you come here, just know that's what we're doing. She didn't like that. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I was okay with that because I'm just like, all right, like
you don't like that, you don't have to come over and just don't have to deal with you.
Yeah, you don't gotta come over, and that's fine too. We can find the time to hang out some other time, but just know over here.
You better than me. If I ain't getting pussy. What's the point of hanging out with you?
But that's what I'm saying though, like I'm that's what we were talking about earlier. I'm trying to get, you know, back into the phase of just enjoying somebody a little bit more. You know what I mean?
See, and that's the thing, like part of me is like, you know, I should, you know, when I heard you say that, I was like, I should be getting out more, et cetera, et cetera. I should be taking shorty out more, you know, do more stuff. And then I think I have, my issue is I have a real authority issue or any issue with anything that goes like when I feel told, I'll just leave it at told. When I feel told, I want to do what I want to do.
Right.
Instead. Like, so the woman wants to have more fun and go out and da-da-da. All right. Do you then? Because I'm boring. The fun I have is the sex I have. After that, you know what I mean? I'm busy. I'm working. I'm productive. I'm focused. I'm thinking. You know, it's always something other than fun.
But dog, like but the crazy thing is though, like what me and you do is fun, and we ain't fucking.
Right, but this is productive as well.
But there's times where it hasn't been this.
True. Yeah.
And we've gone out, we've done things.
Okay, let me. You know what? You're right. Let me unpack that. Cause, all right, the fun. Okay, but it's not like I'm coming to kick at your.
to fuck me.
It's not like I'm kicking it with you, with a bitch. You know what I mean? Like I'm thinking about when I say fun, I mean making a bitch have fun. Excuse me. Making having fun with a woman, having fun with company, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, my fun is my fun, so I could do what I want with my life. I could drink beer and watch Netflix. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, goddamn.
That's the thing, though. Like, all right, so boom, that can be true too.
Yeah.
For me, I realized just like, all right, so in the same way me and you can have fun, that fun can exist too with the woman who I'll be dealing with at the time, just in a different way because me and her have a different connection than me and you would.
Right. I guess that's just a insecurity of being boring speaking because like.
But you're not boring.
one would think, because I'm not in the club, I'm not
But
here,
you don't have to
I'm not
be-
in Barbados.
You don't have to do those things to be fun though.
Right, and that's what Shawty been saying to me, but like...
Just going to the movies
in my
with a
own
person who you
subconscious.
enjoy is fun. Nigga, we went to the mall and was doing stupid shit in the mall.
Damn that, but I'm speaking to a specific, like, with Shawty.
Right.
Like, with a lady, like... I'm admittedly very jaded on my perspective on women.
Right.
Girls just want to have fun. It's not just a song to me.
It's real.
It's a mentality.
Yeah, and it's a real fucking
And
thing.
like motherfucking, so I'm of the mind that bitches will have, like, they will be more attracted to the uglier nigga who has more fun.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's just fun is fun. Fun is good. I mean, like, so I don't knock that. I just know myself too well.
That's when I learned.
You know what I mean?
I learned that the fun that we as men consider to be fun for us, you want to bring that woman into that world where it is fun as well.
Now that's the
And a lot of times, right? Like for example, I'm not always looking to go out and do things.
right.
Like I said, me and Shaw, we spent the night here. We didn't go out not one time. We watched.
Did you have a
fucking-
movie night up here yet?
Yeah. Like we sat right here on the couch, you know, watched fucking movies and everything. Did whatever. Did. Something's fishy.
I said, it smells like something. This nigga wasn't watching that movie. I was watching him.
I put this shit right back up here. I said,
Oh, you put the cameras was here and everything. The lights. I hit myself in the mouth with this chain one more fucking time.
you gonna knock yourself out. I said,
My teeth been pretty for like 10 years. Like,
but like, you don't always necessarily have to just do like extravagant things to have like fun with somebody. For me, like, if you want to talk about love languages, it's like
Right.
it's quality time and like personal touch and those things, right? Quality time doesn't necessarily mean you're traveling, clubbing, drinking, trips. Like, that's not really what that means. Quality time is a person who you enjoy being around, they enjoy being around you, your presence together, it meshes well. You can be doing absolutely nothing, and that's fine.
but that's, and this is why I can't stand myself. Cause like, I got that, right? Miss Letty be telling me that. Like, motherfucking, it's been 3 years, like, motherfucking, like, we dead cool. She adores a nigga. And, like, this is not me speaking on some pompous shit. It's just, like, motherfucking, I'm so jaded that I don't believe that.
It'll be different if you dealt with a girl that I had dealt with, where they wanted to do something all the time.
Right.
We don't do anything. When are we gonna go out again? Like, what are we doing?
And see, that's the shit.
That's the shit
I be
you don't
thinking
want.
about.
And if you don't have that, though, it doesn't have to be that.
Right.
Then that's where the pressure
Like,
comes in,
show
where you're
me
just
what
like,
we
all right,
took.
I guess
I
we'll
mean,
fucking do something.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
I guess.
It's just like all these experiences, they end up jading you. And it's funny for me because a lot of times it's not even from experience.
Mm-hmm.
Like, motherfucking, nigga, I told you last, you know, I ain't even got to tell you, you've been in my life. The last time I've been in a relationship where I was a teenager, dog.
Yeah.
Like, motherfucking, since then, I didn't want that, to deal with any of that bullshit again. So, like, all of the ways that I see women, like, it's come from, like, less so my experience and more so what I've been seeing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's another problem, too. Like, I'm seeing, like, just society and what they are marketing to women and men and the result of because the kids are the only ones who are going to be affected by that. Anybody of right mind, at least, well, no, they're not, because a lot of times these adults are fucking kids.
Yeah.
But like the people of sound mind who know themselves aren't going to be affected by this stuff.
Right.
It's the people who don't know themselves that are going to form themselves based off of this marketing. And so, like, when I see all this marketing and the way, like, what's on social media and the way bitches been acting and stuff, like, this is what I derive my opinion on women off of.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, it's making it hard for the woman that actually is a good woman because I don't believe her.
You once told me that you shouldn't let your negative experiences affect anything that could happen potentially going forward.
Damn, when did I say that?
He said, nigga, I'm a genius when I said that shit.
I said, nigga, I need my own advice.
I'm my own therapist, nigga.
I said, I know everything. I'm right.
I said, it's Jim Gary too now. That's what the fuck it is.
Real shit.
No, it gotta be Ashy Boy. Ashy Boy. Ashy Boy.
I got a lot of hopes.
This episode,
Ashy Boy.
This episode, Ashy Boy.
100%.
Ashy Boy.
100%.
But yeah, like, dog, you told me that when I was going through my situation with Shawty.
This is the best. Ashy Boy. I love it. Please continue.
But when I was going through my situation recently with Shawty and everything, and I was telling you how, like, man, I was like, man, done relationships, fuck this bitch. I was you heard me, nigga. I was mad as fuck.
Nigga, which Shawty?
The one who I had lived with.
Recent.
Yes.
That's the only word you gotta say.
Yeah, this recently. And I was like, yo, I'm done with these bitches. I'm not getting no relationships. I hate them. I hate hoes. All these bitches. You heard me.
Okay, now I do remember me giving that advice.
So in that instance, I'm telling you the same thing. Like, don't let these other influences deter you from really what you probably wouldn't necessarily want for yourself. And what you would want for yourself doesn't even have to be that.
Right.
It doesn't have to be those things. And like you said, you're in a situation where you're with somebody who isn't requiring you to do those things. So you should be okay with that.
Right.
And for me, I'm in a situation where it's somewhat aligning that I'm with somebody where I'm now kind of stepping into this, trying to do more, because, you know, like, that's kind of who they are too. And they're always down with it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And when we get together, it's that fun.
Right.
But the fact of the matter is, don't segregate your life in that way where if you feel like it's not working out in the total grand scheme of things, that won't work out for you. No, it is working out for you.
You know what I like about this conversation too? It's like we're navigating how to we're discussing how to navigate in this social media age, where there's so much influence out there that it could potentially pivot a person who is focused. Like motherfucking excuse me.
People on purpose. Mine was quieter.
I'm tired of me. But like motherfucking, like this social media age shit. I'm gonna let you get it out.
No, I'm just laughing. It's just fucking
All that noise and shit. The fucking dragon. But nigga, in this social media age, I'm looking at like motherfucking all these different. Yo, I just talked about how like motherfucking. Truly, I know I'm cool. Like truly, I know I'm cool with less women in my life and less distractions, and one who actually, you know what I mean, I'm cool with. I kick it. There's love there. You know what I mean? All that. It's great. But the moment I see, like eyes, I eat with my eyes, dog. The moment I see,
this fucking bad.
oh my god, I'm so bad. Cause like man, like I get in public, like for example, like I ain't gonna put Shawty out there, but like motherfucking at the job that we work at, motherfucking, I mean, I'm flirtatious with this one babe, and like, you know what I mean, got me in the aisles, like I'm pulling titties out and shit, like nigga, I'm ready to fuck in the aisle, like, and it's just like, how do I control this shit, like, you know what I mean? Well, it's not even a matter of how do I control this shit, more so than like, you know what I mean, sexualization. Everything, that's the point I'm making. Everything is sexualized now. Like, social media has made it to like where every bitch, not, you know what I mean, your hometown, not known by the world bitch is a porn star.
Yeah.
Like, or teasing you to some extent.
Yeah.
Like, motherfucking, I can't get on social media these days without my dick getting hard. That's softcore porn, my nigga.
That'd be my point. I made the show the other time that women in like this media now, they become super sexualized.
Yo,
you know the singers Chloe and Haley or Holly. The two.
Fuck no.
the two light skinned girls and everything. They sound really good.
Light skin?
Yeah.
Fuck no. I'm black.
Your complexion,
Yo,
bitch.
that's what I'm saying. Like that's why I said that shit. Cause I know motherfuckers seeing this gonna be like, nigga.
Like they're literally
But
like
they don't
their
know me,
complexion.
man.
But no, they're really great singers, right? And now they're a little bit of age, but up until a point they were super like PG conservative, like they weren't showing too much skin. Now the one sister who's like our age, she fine as fuck. Now she busting it wide open, now shaking her ass, being mad sexual, and I'm like, girl, you didn't even have to do that. We've already acknowledged how great you are.
Or did
now, no, because she didn't.
Or did she?
No, because here's the thing. I was making an example before. The singer Her. In what way is this girl sexualized in her art and her music?
Let me tell you this though.
None. And
What
she's Grammy award winning.
But what was her numbers recently?
Who?
Her.
Great. She was
Great for-
charting. Yeah.
Great for us. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is what I mean by understanding different. I try to understand worlds I'm not even in. But, like, motherfucking looking at them numbers, they're not what people that manage her want.
I mean, but no, because I can't say that, because if you're, they're obviously the numbers that they wanted, because she's Grammy winning.
She's Grammy. That
You have to be at a certain threshold.
I made a comment to you about like every day is in the past, right? So I can only look forward. She made that Grammy in the past off of past work. This recent work that just came out and shit, type shit like that, numbers ain't. You know what I mean? They up. You know what I mean? They up. She making money, but it ain't feeding everybody. It ain't overflowing. The cup don't runneth over. And the thing that this mainstream media really tries to get you to do is to fall in line with this sexualization.
But then you even have those same bitches who are following into that line who aren't doing as well as her.
At all. However, they're less talented than her.
That's what I'm saying.
So like a lot of times they need that to get to her level.
And even then you still don't. You still don't.
However,
because you be shaking your ass and you're not her.
Not even however though.
Even if she's selling less.
The fact that it is a part of the marketing toolkit, the sexualization, it's just like it's a big part of the toolkit now. It's like the hammer now. Like motherfucking, you know what I mean? Like everybody nails in a fucking hammer when they're an engineer or something. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like so it's like one of those tools that you gotta have on you.
Yeah.
Like you gotta be able to bust some titties out. Like,
but again, like I said, you don't have to if you're that talented of an artist.
if you're that talented,
The same way home like Chloe, like she is a phenomenal singer with the best of them. Can really kill some shit. But the moment now everything is sexualized, now you shaking your ass and it's in every video and you're doing it's dog, like, you didn't even need to do that. We've acknowledged you. You got it. That's you.
But the trickle down effect though is what I'm talking about. Like look at all the normal babes.
And that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm talking about.
Bitches,
From the top down.
Yeah.
Because these girls who didn't necessarily even need to do these things now are showing everybody else that you have to do this shit to get attention.
And
and attention is currency.
I cannot get on my TL without my dick getting hard. Like I'll always find a bitch I want to fuck. There's always pussy out there that I want.
Right.
It's just like what I have to temper and realize, and I know it sounds fucked up, but it is what it is. I mean, what you doing is fucked up. But, you know what I mean? I have to attach the person with the pussy. Mm-hmm. Like, I have to remember that it comes with a mind of its own. Like, I be wanting pussy, like it is, if I'm to be blunt, the way that women had described themselves and like the way they didn't like being looked at is the way I looked at them. Like sexual objects. Yeah. Like motherfucking for a long time it came to that point, and that's not like ideology and shit. That's not how I was raised. It's more so like just how my experiences shaped me.
Right.
But like motherfucking yeah, for a long time women just they have nothing to offer me but sex. You know, like
I know. I'm laughing at
the bean.
I'm laughing at this way. If someone hears that shit,
Cause what you want me to
but
say?
no, but you know how I feel about it.
Yeah.
But I'm laughing at someone's reaction.
Yeah. No, like I got sis, and then that's another. I hate the dumb arguments that I hear that try to rebuttal the things that I say. Like, let's have a conversation instead of you rebuttaling me.
Right.
Because like motherfucking, it's the same thing when I would have a religious conversation with a motherfucker and they rebuttal me with like, say I said, okay, we aren't supposed to put our faith in man. Who wrote the Bible? And then the motherfucker hits me with, oh, they were inspired by
God spoke to them.
I mean, we could hit each other with the rebuttals all day. Or we can have a logical conversation
and we can
about
come to an understanding.
Thinking, and come to an understanding. Because I don't knock, and that's a separate conversation, but I don't knock religion at all.
Right.
I know what it does for people. Shit saves lives.
Yeah.
Shit saved my dad's life.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what I'm saying? He's still being able to eat off the fruits of motherfucking religion. So I ain't mad at that.
Mm-hmm.
It's a moral compass that'll point the wrong person in the right direction for me.
Right.
I don't need it because I'm a good person.
Right.
That's just bottom line for me. That's how I've been thinking. But like, as far as this is concerned, women and shit, like, goddamn, my experiences have shaped me, and I'm a little jaded, and I see women's use, and I'll put it this way: I've been so independent that a woman can only offer me sex.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's not such a bad thing that I'm saying it. It's just that what else can you do for me? I do it all for myself.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, however, like one shorty that I foregone, I didn't fuck this shorty. I just like goddamn, and it's funny because she was down and she's bad and all that. It's just like I'm coming to a point where pussy is not as much as I used to put it on a pedestal to be. Like I don't need to. I've had enough. I don't need to chase it so much and get so much new pussy just to feed this old ego.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Me and Sha'carri was having a conversation about how men's sexual drive these days is demonized and labeled as toxic, right?
It is. Because shit, I got a libido.
Right, and to the point nowadays that where women are just as horny, but because that's not what like makes them up, like it makes us up. You know what I mean?
Well,
it's labeled differently, but we have to embrace their sexuality but diminish ours.
And I've embraced it personally in my life only because, you know what I mean, my mom put me on game. Women are just as horny, if not hornier, than men are.
Yeah, and that's the point I'm trying to make though. Like these two things are true, but as a man, like our sexuality, like I said, it's labeled as a bad thing that we can't look at a beautiful woman that we don't like. We're not supposed to think that we want to fuck her.
Well,
that's a bad thing to think about.
You would think ours is demonized, but we have the weaker side of the demonization because, like, think about how demonized their sexual side is. I tell women, and it sucks because it's like it's a move almost that works. But like I tell women all the time, the reason that you are not willing to, or the reason that you are so apprehensive about just fucking me instead of like creating something is because you don't want to feel like a hoe. Because the things that men were prized and paraded for when we were in our youth were the same things that women were shamed and bashed for and made to feel like hoes for and so it made them uncomfortable with their sexuality.
That's the point I'm trying to make. The tables have turned now, where now we have to accept women as these sexual beings and stuff like that, but then simultaneously not objectify them.
Well, fuck that. I'm a man.
And decrease our sexuality. But meanwhile, y'all could be out here with your ass and titties out and not send me to feel a way about it.
Listen.
Or think that, like, she has a nice personality. I would like to get to know her.
Bullshit. You want me to treat you like a queen while you acting like the tramp?
Shit.
Like, please. I'm going to fuck you like the tramp. I'm going to treat you like the tramp. And I'm going to leave you like the tramp. Like, it is what it is, man. Like, I was thinking about my music lately. Like, the way I write. I know I'm very skilled in my wordplay, so I don't have to curse and shit, but it's just the way that I talk.
Right.
So I want to be more natural in my raps. Like, sure, I could show you high level of skill. However, I just want to be me and have fun with it. That's why I do this thing.
And all the best rappers curse.
You know what I mean? Like, but again, this is a thing where I try not to when in this lane,
I see what you mean.
You know what I mean? I definitely don't try to compare myself.
Yeah.
I just like it's a thing of what I'm doing and how I'm going to like just be me. But motherfucking yeah. Speaking of being me. I need to let. I was just thinking about that at work. I was like, yo, I'm gonna write the most misogynistic shit when I get home. Just cause like motherfucking like I know how I really feel and how I really act and how I really walk and how I really talk, and it's just like it's very nuanced, right? Like it's not like I feel this way about all women.
Right.
It's just that let's have a reality about the women that do exist today.
My thing is, I honestly, it's probably gonna sound fucked up for me, but I'll be looking at like just average bitches and everything is just like just something to fuck and not taking to be serious. Like I don't take none of them bitches seriously, and it's just like, cause for me, I have to just look at you in a certain way in order to deem you a certain way. You know what I'm saying?
Excuse me.
And I feel like as time goes on, you know what I mean. Like even the niggas who we may idolize, you know what I'm saying? Like he may look at a bad bitch as just something to fuck. And she may be bad to us, but to him it's just like another bitch. Like it don't really matter.
And that's where it's come to in my mind. It's just like, damn. Sure, I'm not Trey Songz. I'm not at his level of experience. However, like, it's come to a point where I just see all women as like, and that's why I'm so jaded. So when a good woman comes into my life, I wouldn't know what to do with it, just cause like motherfucking, all I see women as, you know, how I've labeled them, how I've come to understand how I can move with them in my space.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, say if you ain't Trey Songz or if you ain't, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? I see myself as high level. However, I'm not in denial.
Right.
I'm not at the level I want to be. Yeah, I'm not delusional. I'm not at the level I want to be.
Right.
And so, like, I hold myself to a high standard. However, there are people at a higher level that are holding themselves to the same standard and, I mean, able to commit to that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? As opposed to myself where I'm just like, yo, like, shit, there was a point that I was making just now. Oh yeah, basically, I see myself at a higher level. However, I'm not delusional to think that like it'll be acquiesced to by all women.
Right.
So like motherfucking, you know what I mean? I just gotta carry myself as such. You know, it's like one of those. I'm not one to fake it till I make it.
And plus, too, at this stage, it is an imperative for us to be. It is an imperative for us to try to take the women in our lives so seriously because we have other things to focus on.
We do, however,
it's okay to have them be around, but we can't make them our center of attention and our mental point of origin. You know what I'm saying?
Fuck no.
It has to be like, nah, like that's a whole separate thing in my life. This is the main focus over here.
You know, one of the things I told Shawty was the reason you're even like feeling me the way you do now is because I am who I am.
Mm-hmm.
If I don't continue to be this person and continue to grow like I do, you'll stop fucking with me, and then I'll regret ever putting any time into you.
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? It's a balance to things, and like, you know what I mean, you gotta understand that the reason you even fuck with me is because I'm me.
Right.
Like, let me be me. And you gonna keep fucking with me, like goddamn, or not. And that's the risk of like, I guess that's the challenge of like taking or giving any time to a woman, because it's just like, you know what I'm saying. It really does cloud the mind. It has you thinking about a person and stuff. And I remember how I used to move before I had anybody. When I had nobody on my mind. Like this was around a time when like, even you and me wasn't fucking with each other. Like, goddamn, I had nobody on my mind.
Right.
Like, I was just making moves.
Right.
And while some better than others, it all felt like I could get over it quicker.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, everything was just behind me, and I was only looking ahead. Mm-hmm. Now, I gotta look at, like, your fucking feelings and how it made you feel. And I gotta think more. Right. It requires more thinking, and I don't like it.
Right.
However, like, comfort zones, right?
Yeah.
Speak to that, like, comfort zone. Like, do you feel like you're out of your comfort zone or in it?
Currently, or like?
Yeah, currently, in this very moment, do you feel like you're out of it or in it?
I think it's twofold. I'm comfortable in the fact that I'm still me,
Right.
but I'm uncomfortable in the fact that I'm still me. If that makes any sense.
It does.
Like I don't like the fact that well, I'm aware of the fact that I'm not where I want to be. So that is what drives the uncomfortability to come out and make me do something about it. But I'm comfortable in the sense that I'm not where I was and I'm here now.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I've accomplished something. And the things that I have going on around me has allowed me that level of comfortability. But I'm not allowing myself to be satisfied with this level of comfort. So yes and yes, I'm kind of both, but I'm more so leaning towards being uncomfortable in the fact that, and I had to talk to myself about this recently, like
I love that you fucking just said that. I'm sorry.
talk to
but
myself about it.
Yeah, cuz nigga, motherfuckers act like they don't talk to themselves. Like
Nigga,
you're
I
a
had a-
human,
I had a
you talk
whole-
to yourself.
I had a whole dialogue in the shower about this shit. Like for real,
Seriously,
if
but
we
you know
honest.
what I mean? Like, but motherfuckers act like they not. Man, everybody's crazy.
Yeah.
Everybody.
I don't think it's crazy that you talk to yourself.
At all. I
It's
think
not
that's
crazy.
the normal. I mean, what else can you do?
Yeah, because
you're gonna keep thinking.
technically you're talking to yourself if you're thinking. You're just saying what you're thinking out loud. There's no one to hear it. That's
Right,
it.
right.
That's not crazy.
I embrace my crazy. That's all. And
Yeah.
so when I heard you say that, I was like, "Thank you, man."
Yeah.
Like, motherfucker.
But I was having this whole conversation in the shower with myself, just like, man, like, it's great that you got here, but you have to think about what got you here.
Mm-hmm.
It was the fact that you were uncomfortable in the situation, and you wanted to get out of it, and you wanted to change it. And what you did is this, and this. Now you want this, and this. Just do those things again to get those things. And because the moment you're going to be satisfied with just being where you are and being content, that's when you're going to stop growing.
Right.
And it's so much more that you want to do that you can't be content with this very moment. You have to keep going. You have to keep going. It doesn't matter how you're going to feel one day. It doesn't matter how you're going to think one day. You know, and you told yourself from a very long time ago that you wanted to do these things. You wanted these things. Now you have to do it. You have to do it.
Ain't that the bitch about being the adult that you imagined when you were a teenager or a kid?
Yeah.
It's like motherfucking you had these ambitions and you could. It's like the child you could see clearly the potential that you have.
Mm-hmm.
And then as an adult, to put forth that potential into actual kinetic energy, to actually become who you imagined then,
Yeah.
you have to, it's like you have to forget about who you were then.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
it's like you said earlier, like you know that you husky now, but the thoughts or the remembrance of who you were is still instilled in you, and you walk with that same confidence of the person who wasn't husky.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, and a lot of that is in myself too. Like, just like a lot of times you just don't fully walk in your purpose.
Right.
And that's I think that's a big part of where I'm at. Like some days it's just like, you know, some days you at that high frequency where you are not only happy with where you are, but in tune with yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Like you feel like you deserve to be there. You're on the way elsewhere. You know, you're on. It's forward movement. And then the very next day you can feel like, yo, I hate this.
Yeah, and that's when for a long time, and I've referenced this a few times already, but operating just in a mid frequency, and it was at first I didn't like it so much, and I had to talk to my therapist about it at the time, but I was saying how to her I don't like operating in this mid frequency because I feel as though it's hard for me to be happy in this because nothing's really happening. I just feel like I'm on autopilot. But now, as a more matured adult, that's kind of where I want to be. I want to be mid-frequency because if I'm too high, I'm gonna come down, and if
Yeah.
I'm too low, I have to work myself to be up again. I'd rather work in this mid-frequency because I can control this. It's leveled, and I can keep going in a direction where it's steady, it's consistent,
Right.
and I don't have to put myself in any sort of other leaning direction that's gonna take me out of this flow that I'm in. Because when I'm in this mid frequency, I'm thinking clearly. I'm fine with where I'm at. I'm working towards something. My habits and routines are in order. I'm working towards my goals. It's all going the way that I want it to go. But it's those moments when something really good happens, and it's just like, I don't want to be too happy about this shit because I already know that it's not going to last.
That's my problem, because like it's the little things for me. Like I was at work and this white, you know when I sent you that Stone Cold video where he was like, yeah, holding up the belt and shit, and like, but that same bull, I said, excuse me, something that's very simple. I said, excuse me when I was going past him through the aisle, and he was just like thanking me. He thanked me for saying excuse me because so few people just had the manners to show him like any kind of cordial attitude. And those are the small things that make me feel really good, like very good, because like despite how attractive I may be or how much good shit, how much good shit, good shit, how much good shit I got going for myself, like I'm a good person. Yeah. Like I was raised and I respect people despite who you are.
Right.
The janitor or the CEO. And so I love that I'm such a good person in that vein of things, and I can respect people, and that made me feel very good. And that's a high frequency, and it's just tempering those moments. Tempering those moments, because it's just like they're fickle. The next moment can be very opposite of the feeling. And you have to be level-headed to know that none of these feelings are supposed to affect the overall movement and outcome. You know? Like, you're not supposed to allow these feelings
that's
to
what I'm saying,
pivot
yo.
you.
Like, that's what I'm saying. It's so important to have things that you know you have to work on, that regardless of how you feel, you just have to do it. And like I said, when I came back from my trip and I just wasn't feeling it, the one thing that had kept me going was just going to the gym. Because I still had that whole week off. The morning and the afternoon, I was just like out of it. Call my mom, hey, you picking me up? Boom, go straight to the gym and feel just a little bit better each time. And then the next day, same thing. I roll out of bed, not do anything, and then, hey, come to get me. Boom, go to the gym, feel a little bit better. Like, it's those things where, despite how you're truly feeling about yourself and how you may think in that very moment, you always just have to keep going. You gotta keep going.
Speaking of which, I wanted to settle some subconscious thoughts that subconsciously I was thinking that maybe was in your subconscious. But that's how much I think.
Subconsciously, you think it's subconsciously like me, subconscious.
But like motherfucking, the same way you feel about when you get in the gym and you make progress is the same way I feel about when I write and I make progress. Like anything that is in line with what I want for myself and what I want to improve in myself in my own life are the things that when I put focus on them, it makes me feel better. So I can see how the gym has made you feel like the gym has given you that feeling of fulfillment in that day. The same way that writing and being productive in that vein of things has made me feel good in my own way, because these are things that I don't get time to do. There's time to go to the gym, and there's time, and it's like you go to the gym and it's physical. It's almost like physical labor. And the way I see physical labor, like it's easier to make my money that way because I don't have to sell you. You know? Like writing and stuff, and like putting time into my own like creative urges that I don't get time to do. Because like, for example, I don't draw as much anymore as I used to. If you remember, I used to draw.
I remember.
And it's just
Niggas,
like,
you and me.
You know what I mean? But those kind of like drawing is hours. You know, and as an adult, time is really poignant these days. Like, and so I don't have all day to just sit there and draw pictures. You know what I mean? And so like the little moments that I do get to write a little verse or get some creative spill out, it is fulfilling for me because like I don't get that often.
Right.
Now the way I've set my schedule up, 7 days a week I have to do something other than what I want to do.
And that's where, and like you said, it's what you find important, you know
Right.
what I mean? And for me, it's definitely been the gym. And aside from the fact that it's allowed me just walking towards like self improvement, it just helps me just relieve stress at this point.
There you go.
Like, cause when I'm in there, it's just like it's me and just like now like push myself to do something.
Yeah.
And then I'm not, my mind isn't elsewhere. And if it still is when I'm in there and I'm doing it, then I gotta go harder.
But that's what I mean. Though.
I gotta
like,
go harder now.
My mind is in that space. However, it's not the gym.
Mm-hmm.
Like if I'm working with writing and stuff and doing something more, trying to, you know what I mean, like I get that same feeling. And I bring this up to say that it's not anything personal as to why I have been so absent. It's just that my focuses are so different.
Yeah, I haven't, that's never been my thing about.
All right, but you know me,
yeah.
I'm a think.
Like you said, my subconscious.
Subconscious,
but
and
no,
so I wanted
never,
to address that because like motherfucking.
So because you were on the same
timing,
type that you were on the same type time I was when I started.
Yeah,
You
but
know what I'm
also
saying?
the timing is also bad. Like motherfucking the fact that you moved and that there's more absence now than there was later. I don't want that to fall into a rabbit hole of thoughts. More so, your last address was on the way.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's right there. So going out the way to go to, you know what I mean, the gym and shit, it already takes preparedness in the mind to get out of the house.
Right.
So to go out the way and make more time and stuff, it just it affects the mind. It makes you think there's something else I'd rather do. And so that's when I like start banking on the creativity and whatnot. Now that's why I go back to getting back into work and going back into the work schedule, because given my own devices, I'll do what I want when I want.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I really don't like direction. I don't like I like to be in control of everything. And so like a lot of times like I could, you know what I'm saying, I could have inconsistent habits that need to be ironed out, but I don't have to because it's all on me. You know what I mean? However, something like this where I'm cooperating, where I'm doing a project with somebody, you know what I'm saying, those same time frames and stuff, like, it's not just all about me.
Right.
And so that's something I'm moving into. I'm getting used to that.
Yeah, for sure. No, I totally agree. And I think definitely at this point, dog, like it's more. It really comes down to what's really just putting you in that position that you want to be in.
Right.
You know what I mean? And this past week, it's just been just realigning my focus again, knowing what it actually takes to get shit done.
Right.
Just being back at my original job this Saturday, I just did like first shift there and I came back. But I was sitting where I was for like those first 4 or 5 months before I started working, at the warehouse. And I'm like, man, I sat at this joint for days and weeks on end, contemplating, thinking, planning, just to get here. Just to get right here at that desk, sitting right here. And it put me in a whole different space of just like, yo, if I can do that in a matter of time where I just put my head down, I was focused,
right,
determined, and I
look
wasn't,
how quickly that shit happened.
and just like that. And then being back in there, I was like, yo, like, just do that shit again. Just do it again.
Right.
Just do it again.
Right.
And it's as simple as saying it, but now, for real, I did it, so now it's as simple as doing it again. And if I'm doing it with a little bit more effort, then it could be faster. It could be done a little bit more advantageously. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Things will start to move in a way where I want them to move because I'm moving in that direction.
Getting put in these positions, it makes you, it really helps you know yourself, because it's like you're in a position to change your life, and now you're taking your time, and it's like you have to hone in on why you're taking your time and what you're not ready for.
Right.
And what you're preparing yourself for. And all this analysis just gets you digging deeper into yourself. And yeah, it's like right now we're in a position we aren't broke.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We make pretty good money. Like I, you know, it ain't no pompous thing. We ain't rich, but we good.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And like we have the resources to keep revenue coming in and stack up and build something.
Right.
Like motherfucking and at this moment, while I'm very grateful, I've taken the stance of not rushing that process, but to indulge in it more so. Like the reason for the breaks, for example, we have the opportunity at the job that we do have to take the time that we need off.
Right.
And I've been utilizing that tool because I want more autonomy in my life.
Right.
I don't want to rent myself to a job and basically be owned by them and a slave to the money that they offer,
Right.
so that I can make ends meet.
Right.
I want to be able to make something out of something, you know? So the bread that I'm stacking, I want to use that to make something bigger so that I can eventually make my bread work for me. I don't want to keep, you know what I mean? Like, essentially, like, and a thing I didn't like about myself, I watched an interview recently that made me notice a lot about myself. I'm going to send it to you, too, because, like, it had me mind boggled. I feel like I'm a very ambitious person while being lazy. And, like, maybe I'm talking down on myself because I've always been hard on myself so that I could push myself.
Mm-hmm.
But because there's nothing lazy about working 10-hour shifts overnight all the time.
Yeah, of course not.
And having 2 jobs and shit. There's nothing lazy about that. There's nothing lazy about maintaining yourself over the past half a decade. I get that. It's just a matter of, like, I could be doing more.
And that's what I've been saying about myself for the longest time. You could have always done more and you can still be doing more.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, your goals are still going to be your goals. But what separates successful people from those who aren't hitting their goals are the ones who are willing to just do a little bit more.
Right.
To just go the extra mile, right?
Because that's what it's going to take, and you
that's,
know it.
That's what it takes. And people sit up here all day and say that they want these things for themselves, but then when it comes time to do it, they either half-ass
Guess
it,
what?
don't do it all the way, or do it but aren't putting in just a little bit extra more.
Or they are aware of these things like we are, and they chase pussy. They have babies.
But guess what we're doing though?
They have girls. You know what I mean?
We're removing it.
Exactly, and but that's what I'm saying. I go
You gotta
back
be
to
aware.
the points. Yeah, this awareness that we have. Like I'm going. I say that to say because I've said so many things that may offend the crowd, like earlier in this podcast, but like it loops back to this. Like these are the reasons that I think this way.
It's
I'm trying to
priorities.
think for myself. Yes.
Priorities.
I'm prioritizing the things that will get me to success. I'm not thinking so much about the now than I am the future.
It took me, and you're right, it took me up until recently to get to this because when I first got, like, when I totally said I was gonna be single, one of the dudes who I was watching about dating, he would talk about dating, but then he would talk about self-improvement and being on your purpose a lot. And he would be like, he was like, if I'm this age and I got this going on and I don't have a house, I don't have a car, I don't have this, I don't have that. He was like, I ain't thinking about no fucking pussy, nigga. I'm trying to get to where I need to be.
Real
like,
shit.
He's like,
He's
like, the only thing that's gonna help me get to that is focusing on me. He was like, don't be chasing pussy if your shit ain't in order.
You know what I mean?
And I'm just like, I don't listen to that. Let me chase pussy. But I was still in a situation where I didn't necessarily have to get those things in order because it was already happening. You know what I mean?
Right.
But the more and more, like I said before, getting into this, I was like, man, I want my own place. I want my own car. I want to improve. I want this. I want that. And doing both simultaneously, it isn't going to work that way.
Right.
It's only going to work when you start to focus on yourself, limit your access to these things, and discipline, and allow yourself. Then once you've accomplished those things, be like, all right, now I can, you know what I'm saying, date around, do whatever I want to do and stuff like that.
You know, it's funny. I feel like what we're working on now, the moment we get everything that we want personally, we won't even be at the point where we want all the bitches.
Oh, yeah, no.
Like, that part of our lives will end up evolving, and then we'll have to get that in order.
Right.
It's like, what's frustrating about life is that nothing happens all at once.
Mm-hmm.
It all like culminates as a result of your actions, and like the more actions, because you live every single day until you die.
Yeah.
And so the more actions you end up putting in, no matter how small, the more results you're gonna get, whether bad or good.
And our actions, I just read this in the book. Your actions define who you are, not your thoughts.
Right. Right. You can think all. I'm a mascot for this. You can think all day about what you want and what's possible, what you could do, and et cetera, et cetera. And perfect moment, everything, and fucking just daydream.
Yeah.
But your reality is what your actions have brought to fruition.
Right.
You know what I mean? And
Right.
it's just like, you know what I mean? At this point, man, I'm very proud of us. I'll say first. I'm super proud. Because, like,
Same.
everything we talked about, dog, is here. We're living everything we talked about. I mean, despite living together, it's even better than it would have been living together.
Yeah.
Because, like, as adults now, we know we need our space.
Yeah.
Like, motherfucking, it's better to have enough. Shit, instead of living together and saving money, it's better to have enough money to live on your own.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
we're so fucking blessed. And so I want to take this opportunity and this blessing that I do have and motherfucking not spoil it. Like, focusing on the wrong shit and trying to be who I'm not.
Yeah. we just gotta work towards our purpose, improving ourselves, and really understand that it's gonna take just a little bit more than it took for us just to get here.
Real shit.
And know that going forward is gonna take that discipline, that consistency, and not being content or comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
Constantly being uncomfortable, looking to change the situation and be better.
Constantly being uncomfortable. That's powerful too. Yeah. I might work. I have to work on this when I get home. But motherfucker, I just made a title of a song called "Comfort Zone."
That's why you're asking about that shit.
Yeah,
motherfucker.
I said, let me do some research. But real
My nigga
shit
said
though.
he ain't comfortable, he comfortable. I didn't believe him, so he thought.
Real shit though, like motherfucker, getting it like balance, man.
Mm-hmm.
Comfort. You gotta be comfortable in an uncomfortable zone.
Yeah.
You know, you gotta get comfortable being uncomfortable,
Mm-hmm.
because like goddamn, it's not easy to do the things that you don't want to do, or you know what I'm saying, like all these things
Being uncomfortable, it establishes growth. You know what I mean?
It's not comfortable to lift fucking 200 or 300 or 100 something pounds and shit. It's not comfortable. It's not a comfortable feeling. You're just getting stronger while you do it.
It establishes growth. It's gonna grow your
You know
muscles.
what I mean?
I always like the example that I heard this before, that when you plant a seed, and you know you do the things, you water it, you give it sunlight, all those things. It's uncomfortable in its seed position. It's under the ground. It hasn't grown to what it needs to be grown into. The moment it's trying to grow, it's trying to break through the dirt, its own shell of being a seed, so on and so forth, and then you grow into whatever you need to be grown to.
Right.
Or a butterfly. You're not comfortable in your cocoon. What does it start doing? It starts to mold itself to be bigger than its cocoon.
Right.
Until it's then comfortable to be out of it, because you were uncomfortable in that position. Point of the case being that putting yourself in uncomfortability, and it's gonna force you to move. It's gonna force you to grow, and it's gonna force you to act.
The thought that just came to mind as you said that, like, while we are gonna visit Atlanta, that makes me think like, damn Atlanta, we need to leave the United States.
Yeah, I've been meaning to fucking do that for a minute.
You know what I mean? Like, really expand the horizons into places that other people haven't explored even. Or not necessarily other people, just explore more so.
Yeah,
like,
for ourselves.
Yeah, like goddamn, because as you were saying that, like I was thinking about, say, Atlanta and like visiting Atlanta, just places to visit, you know. And I'm just like, visiting Atlanta is in the United States and around a lot of people that we can relate to and understand. Like, the part of expansion and growth is getting out of said comfort zone.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and so while that is outside of something that we know and newer, it offers a comfort zone that we are very familiar with.
Mm-hmm.
And hence why the thought of traveling like outside of even the United States, just like really making the world your palette.
Yeah.
Because like I don't a thing even when I was a kid like was that I don't want to see this world as small as I've seen it.
Right.
You know,
'Cause
I
it is
know
way
there's
bigger.
so
It's
much
way
more
bigger.
to this world than
Shit,
I've
fucking-
experienced.
Throw on the goddamn Travel Channel. You'll see how big that shit is.
You know what I mean?
Yo, I be watching them shits and be like, man, I want to go to these places. I want to eat
You
here.
know what I mean?
I want to swim here, even though I can't swim. Like all type of shit.
I mean,
like, I want
and
to do all
granted,
that
there's
shit.
so much shit that could happen that's bad.
Yeah.
It's so much shit. It's just like
But how often? that
I'm
shit
just
can go
tired
wrong? Like,
of living life on the basis of what could go wrong.
Yeah, you gotta be optimistic and open.
Really, because
That's
I
all it
won't
is.
experience anything. You know, if I'm thinking of it this way, I won't experience shit. I'll stay safe.
Yeah.
You mean?
You gotta stay dangerous. You know what I'm saying?
100%.
Did you want to get into anything else?
Not that eclipse is about the topics for me. I don't have any topics left. Did you have anything?
I did, but I feel like everything else we got into is way better. So
Honestly, and I don't want to spoil it with
Yeah.
some. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like-
some B-sides.
yeah, like honestly, it's like nah.
Yeah,
y'all got that shit.
Yeah, I was about to say we hit it today. We hit
Yeah,
it today.
it was fine.
Fine. Like I'm bringing drinks every time. Like fuck the bullshit. Like I ain't doing it sober no more. I said, my nigga.
Damn, you gotta chip your damn tooth. That's just that for the third time.
I'm done with this shit. I ain't gonna have no teeth by the time we done.
Oh my god.
Jerry Birds, nigga. I ain't even gonna do the flat, but you know what I mean. Like, nigga, nah. I look forward to the day, nigga. I mean, no. Matter of fact, I didn't. I did not feel like getting out of bed. So the fact, but I told you I did actually want. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Get into a mode of feeling natural. That's why I had to bring drinks, cause like motherfucking, I need to relax. You know what I mean? Really feel comfortable, and also that's because my personal life was like, I mean, I was being too aware of sharing it, but
Yeah.
man, fuck, man, I don't care, man.
Yeah, man.
It's
We,
me.
we got shit to do, guys.
I know me.
Yeah. We got shit to do. And it's
Jerry
coming along.
Birds, nigga.
Jerry Birds, nigga. We got this bitch, you know what I'm
I
saying?
mean, good shit, nigga.